Hi there. My name is Roy, and I've decided politically to support the new party of Maxime Bernier's, the PPC party. The reasons why is because I am deeply afraid, and I am deeply afraid of Canada getting into the United Nations, where they wanna do a one world government. Agenda 2030 talks about that. If you look it up on the internet, Agenda 2030 talks about how they want to control what goes in and out of the countries, basically for carbon and gases and everything. I don't want that. It scares me. I can't believe the Liberals are in it. And I walked away, and the Conservatives actually walked away from me. I didn't leave them. They left me. They used to be a center-right party, but they went to the center-left. When Agenda 21 hits, people will realize it. But hopefully before that happens, we'll have Maxime Bernier in. Number two, when Andrew Scheer went in front of CBC and could not hit back at the CBC when one of his members went on the rebel media. Instead, he ran like a little coward. Instead, he ran away and said it wasn't him. Personally, he would never have done that, but it's not his view. It was the view of the friend who went on there. So basically he ran. Instead of hitting back and telling the CBC why they don't report terrorist attacks, right, and why they always defending Justin Trudeau on his schemes. I mean, there was a terrorist attack in Toronto, Danforth, and they said it was a guy with a mental illness that did it, when actually it was a person who was a member of the Middle East terrorists, ISIS, and a member of ISIS or Al-Qaeda, one of those ones anyways. He was a member of one of those ones. Instead of hitting back at CBC about that. But nope, he had to run away. Number three, when he would not let the rebel media into the Conservative Convention. I mean, seriously, the rebel media was dying to go in there and give them some nice positive news there, because the CBC was in there. The problem that I had with that, they let the CBC in there and the CTV in there, but they would not let the rebel media in there. I mean, seriously, who does that? Especially if you're a conservative. To me, that shows me that they're not very conservative. They're afraid. They're afraid of what people are going to think. They're afraid. He was afraid. Andrew Scheer's afraid because he cannot rebuttal or hit back at the CBC. There's so much that they could use against the CBC to hit back at, but he doesn't do it. And that's why I left them. I supported Andrew Scheer for the longest time after he won there. I, in fact, voted him number 2 behind Maxime Bernier. And when he won, I supported him. And he was doing just fine until that one day when they had that shooting that happened in Toronto there, and then they had a emergency debate on it, the terrorists or illegals coming into Canada in Ottawa there, and at the last minute, Andrew Scheer changes it to jobs values. I mean, seriously? Come on. The terrorist attacks and illegal immigration is more important at the moment than jobs values. That threw me right off. That there told me that he wasn't ready to be leader. I mean, seriously, the Conservatives are afraid of what people are going to think of them. The other thing is, no Conservative party has ever want a majority government moving to the left. It just hasn't happened. And these people got to realize that. When the Conservatives were together, and after after what happened in India, the Conservatives were, I believe, 16 points ahead in the polls. When the election happened, Andrew Scheer got in. They were doing great for a while. They were 12 points ahead. And then all of a sudden, Andrew Scheer started acting like running from everything. He had no spine. And then people just lost interest in him. And he went so far. And then he went behind the Liberals that were in the polling there. I could not believe it. That he lost a 16-point lead. Anyways, that's why I left there. And then I saw Maxime Bernier's platform. Everybody keeps saying that Maxime Bernier is Maxime Bernier is not a conservative. Well, you know what? His platform is very conservative. I mean, if you just look at it and read it, it's very straightforward. He wants to get rid of our capital gains tax. What's not conservative about that? He wants to get us out of the United Nations. What's not conservative about that? That's freedom, man. Who would not support that? He wants to cut the dairy cartel so they can save money on that. And also, he wants to get rid of the CBC. We don't need the CBC anymore. Everybody says, yes, we do, because it goes from one end to the other. Well, I'm sorry, we don't. You can get CBC. Pretty much everybody in Canada has a satellite dish now. Even the poor people have satellite dish. I remember Charlie Angus was showing on the thing about these people at Attawapiskat that were living in tents. They were watching a TV. They had a satellite dish set up there. They were watching TV. So it just goes to show that everybody's got a satellite dish now. You either have Bell or you have or Shaw. There may be even other ones out there. And on the internet, you can actually go on the internet and go to Shaw Free Range on the internet there. And if you do a group thing there on Shaw Free Range, anybody can go on and watch TV there. So you don't need CBC anymore. We need to do something about the CRTC too, because they're pretty biased. They prevented Sun News Network from being on there, even though it showed 95% Canadian content, when Ezra and Brian Lilly and them were all running that. They did not want them to have a license to compete against the CBC and CTV, because they knew that if they did, that they would have blew them out of the water. And I don't know why CRTC wouldn't give it to them. I mean, they were on there for 3 years. For 3.5 years, and they were doing just fine until CRTC turned them down. So they got to do something about that. But I really enjoy the PPC party, and I'm really liking the people in there. People like Kelly Day, those songs she sings are great. She's good. I understand that she might team up with some people. Anyways, I better go, but this is and the reason why I'm talking the way I'm talking, because I feel passionate for the PPC party now. We are pulling more people in. They talk about the party split, but I've been talking to people around here, and more people from the NDP and the Liberals are actually coming over to the People's Party of Canada. There now. They don't want to. They're coming over to the People's Party of Canada. They're enjoying that. I think I know about 5 or 6 people. Yes, we're getting some conservative, but it seems to me more people from the NDP and Liberal in my riding right now are going over there. So this party split thing that they're saying is not happening. It's just not happening. There was a recent poll that was shown out there that had the Conservatives ahead, the People's Party of Canada 3rd or 4th there, the NDP just ahead of them. It was the Burnaby riding right there. And it showed that The NDP went down, the Conservative went up there, and the People's Party of Canada went up. So there was no vote split in there. The votes came from the NDP. So don't give me this crap that is vote splitting. Anyways, I'm going to sign off now.